What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of Full Power Hour. Delicious. I'm Josh Full Power, and this podcast is all about bringing real life experiences and knowledge to help you unlock your full potential and become your greatest self. Now, look, I'm not here to sell you a course or give you some copy and paste advice, okay? I'm speaking from my own journey. The ups, the downs, and everything in between, the moves and the mindset shifts that make all the difference. And today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right now, we're diving into something that's going to change your life. Are you ready to change your life? Because this may be a little bit uncomfortable. So what I'm here to talk about today with you is leaving the comfort zone. You heard it a million times. But today we're breaking down the truth behind it. Not the cliche. This is how to leave the comfort zone. Now you may be thinking, what is the comfort zone? What is the comfort zone? Let's get real. Your comfort zone isn't your bed. It isn't your hometown. It's the mindset that says, I'll try that later. The procrastination. It's that voice that says, at least I'm safe. But let me tell you this. Safe is often another word for stuck. Hear me again. Safe is often another word for stuck. I used to think I was fine. Working, partying, the whole deal, scrolling. But the reality is, fine, I'm fine, is the enemy of greatness. So we have to dig into the truth behind it. And the truth is that most times we are stuck being fine in that comfort zone, which is impeding our growth. Studies actually show the brain literally creates new neural pathways when you're uncomfortable. Let that sink in. When you are uncomfortable, your brain creates new neural pathways. That's new thoughts. That's new actions. That's actually a new being. So being uncomfortable, scientifically proven, can actually change you physically, mentally, spiritually, and so on and so on. And that's why discomfort equals growth. And that's the truth. Period. So, I'm going to give you an example. My leap from the routine to the real living. I remember the moment, I was standing on the edge of life, a life that I built on autopilot. Yeah, I had the money, I had the lifestyle, but I did not have the feeling. It seemed something was missing. I traveled all around America doing this job, doing that job. And then, I had an inclination to do something that was so uncomfortable that it literally changed my being and changed my way of life and also how I viewed the world and my place in it. You see, what was this terrifying act that I so choose to do? I actually bought a one-way ticket into the other side of the planet. That's right, a one-way flight. I left everything behind and I started to travel the planet that we call home. Terrifying. Solo, alone. You know, I started to experience new cultures, new people, and I had no script. 100% raw, unadulterated change. Raw, unadulterated discomfort. You know, the first few weeks, I can honestly say that the unknown was terrifying. Not in the sense that I couldn't move or was petrified. It was just the fact that it was unknown. But I do know that that fear of facing the unknown, if it would not have been taken, I would still be in the same comfort zone that I was always in. The same comfort zone in the life that I built that was on autopilot. The life that you may be living now. Now, you don't have to move across the world. No, you really don't. You know, you don't have to move to the other side of the planet, but you do have to move beyond your current limits. That's one thing that you have to do. You know, the job that you hate, the relationship that you are tolerating. Ooh. You know, that fear that you're babysitting. Those are your cages. Those are some of the cages that you have to break free from. You know, you'll never know who you could become if you never meet the resistance that's waiting for you on the other side of your comfort. Now, let me say that again. You never know who you could have become if you never meet the resistance that is waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. Now, what do we do about that? How do we actually move past our comfort zone? You know, first is in acknowledging it, but what are some things we can do to help us get out of that comfort zone and to build, you know, to build the courage and the discipline to change our lives? So one, the first thing that you can do now, starting now, is to micro discomfort daily. Now, what do you mean by micro discomfort? Do things that are discomfortable. Do things that are not comfortable that you don't usually do in your daily routine. One, take a cold shower. Uncomfortable. You know, speak up when it seems awkward. You know, the times where you felt compelled to speak, but you didn't say what you wanted to say. Speak up in that time. It is uncomfortable, but that's where the growth happens. Untuck your tail and speak your mind whenever the opportunity presents itself or whenever it's awkward. Another thing that we can do is to start to say no. And that's how we take our power back and start to actually gain respect for ourselves and have those that are around you start to build respect for you as well. Each small action builds your tolerance for growth. Now, the second thing that we can do, to step out of that comfort zone is to change your circle. Yes. But no, I don't want to. This is the circle that I knew my entire life, and that's exactly why you're not growing. You cannot grow if everyone around you is comfortable being average, is comfortable being mediocre, is comfortable being lame. You cannot grow. So, here's the good news. You can find people who challenge you to become your greatest version. And if you don't have anyone in your life to challenge you, well, Josh FullPower challenge you to do micro discomfort daily, baby. And I challenge you to change your circle and hold yourself accountable. Now, the third thing that you can do starting right now to escape comfort is document everything. Now, what do you mean? What do you mean document everything? Start journaling. Start creating content about your growth. When you speak your truth, you become accountable for it. Now, there's something about that. Speaking your truth and noting your truth, recording your truth, whatever. There's something about holding yourself accountable that actually propels you to the next level. What was my part to play with it in this? You have a part to play in everything, including your own growth as a being in this world. Now, these aren't just habits. No. These are rewirements. That's right. These are rewirements. You're not just doing self-help. No. You're becoming more and more powerful by doing these. Now, here's a truth that may not sit well with you, but it's the truth nonetheless. Yes. And this is a viral truth. Now, Josh FullPower, what is this truth that you're going to tell us, that we're not going to sit comfortable with? The truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Oh! No one is coming to save you. This part might hit hard. But nobody, what do you mean no one's coming to save you? No one is going to push you out of your comfort zone. No one's coming to push you out of that comfort zone that you built for yourself. Realize this. No one's coming to push you out of your comfort zone. Not your parents, not your partner, not your friends, and definitely not your dog. They're going to watch you. They're going to be there aiding you to be comfortable. Yes. They're not the only ones that can light that fire, They can't light that fire. You are the only one that can light that fire. Now, this is where the change happens. When you accept that radical responsibility. When you accept the radical responsibility, that no one's coming to save you and that you have to do the hard work and push through your comfort zone to become more aware, to evolve to the next level, That's whenever you start to gain full power, baby. That's what this podcast is all about. On the first episode, escape your comfort zone. When you accept the radical responsibility, that's when you become powerful. You gain full power. And that is what this podcast is about. Full power living. Remember, you don't need permission. You need a decision. So it's never a good idea to ask for permission to be great. Remember, you don't need permission. You need a decision. Now look, if this episode 1 spoke to you, I want you to do 2 things and 2 things only. The first thing that I want you to do is drop a comment below. What's one thing you're going to do this week to step out of your comfort zone? Just one thing. Remember, micro discomfort. Tell me one thing in the comments that you are going to do to step out of your comfort zone. Now, the second thing is way easier than that. And it may be uncomfortable. Hit that subscribe button. Because every week we're going to be diving deeper and deeper into how you can unlock your full potential, your full purpose, and how you can become the most powerful, your most powerful self. And that's what we're here for. So, I'm Josh FullPower, baby. And thank y'all for rocking with me right here, right now, on the first episode of FullPower Hour, FullPower Podcast. And this is just the beginning. If you're seeing this, it's not by accident. I'm Josh FullPower, and I'll catch you on the next episode of FullPower Hour. Until then, step into the fire, because that's where your future lives. Full power.